Good morning, Ian.
Juma,
How are you?
habari ya asubuhi.
Nako.
Uko poa?
Kwa briefing nyingine ama
Nini yo?
nasikia watu wakiongea in the background.
Oh,
So today let's look at our watch list, what we've been looking at. And the first will be Euro USD. For the Euro, if you can remember, we've been looking at a bearish market for quite some time. And really to hit our target area, which is this, as you can remember. Though, like I always say, I always put mine a little above to be on the safe side, because I do not want to be those people who believe that you can market the milk, you can milk the market until the last drop. So this was our SNR area, and so I chose to close it at that. And if you can see the 4 hours, then there's been a retracement. So this retracement is a tricky one, because we had said that once the retracement reaches this point, that is when we can confirm that the market has turned to be a bullish market. But until then, we cannot confirm it is a bullish market. However, if you look at it in 1 hour, we'll see that the market did reach the first point. So we are just waiting for the second point. But this market tries to challenge this one. So what we'll do, we'll be waiting for the London market to open and see whether these sellers will be able to make this point go downwards. But if they don't, they might just retrace up to this the highlighted point and then go back up. So that will be our entry.
Ebu suanza hii kitu na day kiasi tuangalie like how the daily na behave kiasi kwa hii.
And ndio nilikuwa nimeanza na daily, ona.
So like sasa hivi the bulls wameintroduce to kwa market, the bulls tu wamerudi.
Wamerudi.
Daily.
But again, remember they didn't challenge this price, the lowest price, the last lower lows that we had. So it is very likely that they might come down again to this point. It will take time to breach this point, but still it is possible.
Alafu nakumbuka jana kuna pahali kwa 1 hour ili gap.
Yeah.
There was a place where it gapped. So hapo kwa hiyo gapping ndo I'm looking for like iko na most support and resistance currently. The market ili drop down then ika counter attack ikarudi juu. So, like the bulls wali counter.
So ukiangalia in 4 hours ndo unaona the bulls are very strong.
Yeah.
And they actually walipita the first SNR area. And having the first SNR area, then we have some confirmation that is a buy. But this is a short buy because we also have some very, very strong sellers here. This was an area of supply and demand, so we will be watching that area very carefully. Again, for our entries, we will also be looking at some retracement like it's doing right now, and then we can look for good entries. So within the London market, around 11 a.m., then we can...
Kuna news? Iko na news leo?
Tunaweza angalia news pamoja. So news za leo zinakaa hivi. We do not have any high impact news for today. So already the news for the New Zealand dollar, the Kiwi, the Japanese yen have happened. So what we are waiting for is the euro, the Canadian dollar, and
USD.
And the USD. Australian dollar is not that much. So there's no high volatility. There's no high impact news today. So we are on the safe side, if I may say. right? So so we are saying that we should be looking for good entries right now. But remember, also last time this week was on the same area. So if you look at the history, you'll see that we had some consolidation at this point as well. So this is the best time to look for entries, but again, look for some retracement until the highlighted area. The price might come down back to the highlighted area. But again, if it breaches this area, we'll not be looking for anything in the Euro market area because again, it might not, the sellers might be very strong as well.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is it for the Euro USD. So the Great Britain pound against the dollar, again, same thing happened. We've been looking for sells for quite some time.
Mm.
And this is it. So until it reached this point, our SNR area, this is a very, very strong area. As you can see, last time it formed a double bottom. And this time it formed a double bottom as well.
Yeah. Alafu,
yes.
This candlestick pattern happens like the previous day where you see like a long bearish candle, then the small one like the harami. Yeah, it is an harami by the way. Alafu unapata like una bullish engulfment where a long bull candle wamekuja. Like sasa hadi kama waja take off hapo hivyo, can I call it a morning star juu like ina happen pia on a support level, ni major pia support level, alafu the same thing is happening the previous time, sindio?
Yeah. But
like needed to a morning star.
Yes, you may, but the trick here is the SNR. This is a very strong area. The SNRs are very strong, so we may not breach to the upper side or the lower side. We might get some sort of a range for quite some time, some consolidation for quite some time. But again, remember, this is a daily chart. So when we go to 1 hour's chart, the SNR area is a big area for us to trade. So we still have a lot we can get from the market. So as you can see, once it reached this point, it formed a good double bottom and the market reversed. So the bulls got into the market very strongly. But now that the day is almost the bulls, the yesterday's bulls have taken us to this point, then what we'll do is we look for good entries, but until it breaches this point, we may not be looking for anything in the Great Britain pound. So this is our first SNR area. That would be our first target after the market did reverse. So once it reaches this point, we're expecting some sort of what do we call it? A retracement. So we look for good retracement, and once we have the higher low, once we have the higher low, that is the best entry we can get. So we'll be looking for some sort of resistance here, and once we get that the retracement, then we can get in.
Janice, good morning.
Morning.
So yeah, that is it. So for Great Britain pound, I will be looking for entries at that area. You can see it has already formed a little of SNR area. The left side gotten in, but again, remember, kindly, if you join, kindly mute your mic so that you can avoid the echoes. Good. So yeah, so this is the area that we've been looking at. Janet, umeingia mara mbili.
Nimetoka.
Bado uko mara mbili.
Aliingia mara tatu.
Hadi nadhani tuko wengi. Anyway, shida ilikuwa hiyo echo, so we can continue.
Yeah.
So that was the perfect entry, but let us watch out for that area, this specific area. this specific area, the highlighted area, it's a very tricky area because I believe once we breach that area, then the bulls have taken over the market. But until then, we cannot confirm that this is a bullish market. Yeah. So, but majorly we've taken off the bullish market. We are looking to buy more and more, but let's just be careful on that area. Yes.
Umaiona like that formation of a cup and handle, like where the formation of a cup, you mean like the way the prices zilikuwa zina slope to vizuri, like in a form to a cup, like that's
this one.
Yeah,
I've seen this pattern. I've seen this pattern over and over, though I don't use the cup. But again, it works all the time. You can look at it. You can revise your charts, and you'll see that this formation has been happening. So, yeah, this is a good indication that we are selling, and especially because we are buying, and especially because there is a double bottom. Again, that is enough confirmation. If you look at the candles again, the way they've been forming slowly, there is no impact in the market. That means that the next breakout might be a good one. Yeah. So that is it for the Great Britain pound against the Japanese yen. I don't think there is anything much in that. So unless you have a question, you can just chat us. For the Australian dollar against the USD, again, the same thing will be happening. The market is bullish. We are looking at a bullish market. As you can see, it reached the point that we were expecting. This is where we had projected that the market will come up to. Though it never did hit the exact lower lows, it still came down. And again, like I said, there is also a possibility that this market will come down, hit the lower lows, and then now the bulls can take over the market. So we'll be here on a very careful. This is a very, very, very tricky market, but again, you can never shy away from taking the risk because once the price action confirmation is done, then that is where we get in. So for today, we'll be looking for the retracement. So once we have a good retracement, that is when we can get in. Before then the market has already gone far. We will not risk our money on that. So there is some sort of small retracement over here. But again, this is a point to watch out, and especially because of the this will be our support area. This is an area to watch. These are you can see this is a resistance area. So we will watch this price until we breach it to the higher. Then we'll confirm that this market is a buy, and then we'll target to make to the next major support, that is here. This will be our next target. And you can see I'm not pointing out the highest bar. I'm giving my trade some space to breathe. So this is what will happen. But again, in case it doesn't breach this point, we'll be looking for some buys down here. So we might experience some retracement up to here. So once there is some retracement up to here, then these will be our entries for the first time. Reason being, there is some support area. When the sellers were in the market, they experienced some support, and this caused some resistance, and this is an area of interest as well. But in case it breaches down, we just look at the lowest area. So far, so we'll be looking at this point. So your stop loss should be lower. It should be around here in case you get in the market. unless you have a lot that you have a lot of equity, then you can just wait for it to come up to this point. But again, remember that on the daily chart,
you're bullish.
Yeah, on the daily chart, we have some leeway of this market coming down to this bar. So if it does, then it's good to always have a stop loss for you to be on the safe side. So that is it for the Australian dollar against the US dollar. So for the USD CAD. So the USD CAD has been a bullish market, as you can see, and it has hit these areas that we're expecting, the SNR areas, as you can see. Very good one. That is our SNR area. So at first it never reached, but again, remember there are some areas to watch out. So in 4 hours, you can see that there was some form of consolidation around here before the breakout. And then once it broke out, the market has changed to a bearish market. However, we cannot confirm that the market, the bulls are over, since they've been rising for quite some time. So we will be watching at this area where it is right now. This is the area of interest for today, because we have some resistance here. So once the market reaches that point, it may go back again up. But remember that we have, we will look at it in a daily chart. There is some double top. And if you extend it, you can even see that this is more than double top. So we'll be expecting, especially because of the impact, then you expect this 1 day candle formation. So there is a possibility that a retracement will happen and go back to make higher highs. So we will be looking for our entries at that area. This is where,
yes. Juma,
yes,
like for the 4 hours, unaweza toa like the drawing tools hapo hivyo uangalie like how the candles zilienda juu. Okay, hivyo sasa like kuna konga na term kenye the Japanese wanaitanga by the candlesticks wanasemanga like let them climb up the ladder then remove the ladder, like waache wote wapande kabisa alafu toa the ladder, watakuja tu wakidrop chini juu hakuna kenye wanaweza fanya tena. So like ukienda kwa daily on the daily chart, like before unaona like so that is a major, like mimi nakubaliana na like it is a major resistance and it is a major resistance level for now. So the market ilikuja kajaribu for the first time lakini kufika huko juu. This time the bulls got enough power baada ya ku retrace and actually came and broke out. Lakini sasa on that day they didn't break out, the bulls actually. So now like the long white candle, like the long bull candle kwanza, alafu the next day waka break out but wakapata that resistance. The sellers actually formed a gravestone doji. So the Japanese actually they on the analysis on a gravestone doji, they simply mean that the bulls were buried. So a gravestone doji tu inamaanisha the bulls were buried up there. Na actually ukiangalia vizuri wamebariwa juu on a resistance level. So baada ya hapo that is the previous day, alafu yesterday the long bearish candle ikaingia sasa. Lakini this long bearish candle actually ili close below those bulls. Actually it is an evening star. So an evening star on a resistance level. Actually, and again a gravestone doji. So me naona like it is more of a bearish move. Lakini this time akuja ku retest that point and actually warudi juu. The bulls watakuwa wamerudi into the market wakienda to taking new higher highs. Lakini for now
I agree. For me, I didn't look at the candles that much because I'm not a candle trader. I only take the major candles, so, you know that. So again, there is you can never be 100% right in this market. So it is a possibility as well, and you can see it very clearly that it is possible that the sellers have taken over the market. But again, this is a very good V. If you can remember what I always say about the Vs.
Yeah.
You can remember what I always say about the Vs is once we get a good V, then it is more likely that we will get some buys again.
Yeah.
Especially with the formation. That is why we look at a daily chart, a 4 hours chart, and an hourly chart. And this is what we have for now. That is why I think once we hit this point, which it has already started forming a consolidation, then there's a possibility of us buying up to this area. Until it breaks the low, the higher high that we experienced yesterday, then we cannot. Our target area will still be this point.
Yeah, bado mi nasema hadi Mr. Bulls bado are still in the market because hatujachukua those lows.
Yes,
like this low hapo chini hatujachukua bado kama sellers.
Yes, and even if you look at the 1 day, the daily candle, in as much as we are saying we've buried the bullish, the bulls, then it is this candle didn't go further away. It didn't take the second candle out. That means we still, in as much as they are not that strong as we expect them to be.
Yeah.
So there is still a very good possibility that we are in a bullish market.
Yes.
Until we breach the first SNR area, then we still in the bullish market. But in a scenario where this comes down and breaches this point, then we'll change everything, and this will become a bearish market. So we'll have our stop losses up here, so that will give us leeway of seeing whether the market will reach this point, which is very unlikely, but still very possible.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is it for the USD Canadian dollar. For the Great Britain pound against Japanese yen. Yesterday, Ian, you were in this trade. How did it go? You were stopped out, right?
Kabisa.
Yeah. Yeah, you are stopped out. Anyway, it's nothing to worry. That is why we have the stop loss, so that you can be safe. So we've been projecting that this is a seller's market, and you can see it has been forming very well. This is a week, and most of the times the weeks do not count. So we can say that the bulls have taken over the market quite well as at now. But again, let's look at it in 4 hours. So first of all, the general market in the daily chart is that from here, where we can see this is a bullish market. That in a daily chart. When we look at it in 4 hours chart, we can say we are in a seller's market.
Yes.
So if we're in the seller's market, we were watching, this is the areas that we've been watching, we were supposed to watch. And since this for us was a week, especially from the daily chart, then it doesn't really count. That is why yesterday we were taking the precaution of it might come up, it might form some form of resistance, some sort of retracement, and then come back to challenge the lower lows that we had experienced previously. But now, we're looking at some buys because this already happened. And yesterday, if you can remember, we had some news of the Great Britain pound and the euro as well. So this again now will be a buy, but until it reaches this area, this support area that we had last time. If it breaches this area, if it reaches this area, this is our area of interest. We'll confirm it as a buy. So for now, if you make your entry right now, make sure that you have enough equity to not to be stopped out. Since we also do not want to put our stop loss very close to there. to our entry positions. Again, remember yesterday was a Monday and the market moved. So today might not be a very active day. We may not have momentum in most of the currencies. But again, doesn't mean that the market will not be moving. We'll still experience some good setups. So like this one, in case it buys, we'll be expecting it to come up to this point.
Yeah.
This area will be our area of interest. This will be our first take profit. Again, it will have formed a very good V, meaning once it reaches here, we will not continue buying, rather than watch the market and see what it gives us. It may give us again another sell. You can see that has been happening for quite some time, as you can see. So we'll be watching out for these areas that I've highlighted. Again, remember, we'll be looking for the London markets mostly for us to get our entry position. Because once they open, and this is the Great Britain pound, then we can see the SNR that will form at that moment. So let's be careful, because still we cannot say that this market will not come to challenge the lower low. This might also happen, though very unlikely. It is very possible. So we'll look for oil, the US oil. Yes, the US oil lastly hit our take profit, and after it after it did, just like the rest, it has taken off. The bulls have taken off, and we are looking at very good setups for the oil. As you can see, this was our area of interest. Unless it reached this point, to challenge this point, we would not have sold. So for today, we'll be looking for some buys. But these buys, again, remember, this has been happening at night in Kenyan time. So we're expecting it may come a bit lower, but will not challenge this place. If it does, then we'll still know that the bears are still very strong. They're still marking their presence in the market, but it may form some sort of retracement, and then there we'll get our take profit, our entry, and then here will be our first take profit. Once that happens, this will be our first take profit. That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. We'll be looking for that. And then now after that happens, we will be looking for more opportunities, where our second one will be here.
Yeah.
This will be our second. But first, let us watch out for today and see what happens. If it doesn't come back to here, then we'll be safe. So we'll be looking for buys from to enter where we are to here, and from here to the upper side. Is there any question about that? I think that's clear. That is very easy. Yes. So personally, I've been looking at silver. I do not trade silver that much, but yesterday we've been experiencing good setups of the metals, and as you can see, this is a very good setup, just like gold formed. And once gold had this week, because this is the same thing that happened with gold at the same time, then we've been looking for the buys of gold, but it has been a bit slow, though it has happened eventually. So if you look at this in 1 hour, there was a very good buy yesterday, which if you're in the market, you are able to get. So this was a very good buy, but again, there was a very big spike here. If you're not careful, then and if you're trailing a stop loss, maybe it would have stopped you out. Yes, but again, remember, there's a lot that's happening in the market, the news, and even the crypto is gaining a lot of value now. Yeah, so these are just happenings that happen in the market. You can see a lot of wicks and spikes, This is what happens in the metals. That's why they are very volatile. So you can see that it has formed some form of resistance here, but we're still expecting it to go to make higher highs. But first, this will be our take profit.
Yeah.
Be our first target and our second one here. So if you decide to look at silver, that is it for the silver. So for gold as well, for the longest time we've been looking since last Thursday, if I'm not wrong. We've been looking for gold to
break out of the range.
Yes, break out of the range, and that is what happened. So this, I remember this bar, I drew this bar last Thursday, if I'm not wrong. This is what we've been expecting. We've been looking
you
at
got your targets.
Yeah, this was our first target, and that is what happened yesterday. The market started moving and hit our take profit. So we were safe on that side. It never came down to this bar, so we were still in a bullish market. So our second take profit should be up there, should be up here. See this? These are very many pips. If you can remember, these were spikes that were happening. This was happening very quickly in the market, if you can remember. So in gold, these are very many pips. So we will be looking for those buys and to that point. But here we're expecting some form of some consolidation. So once it is forming an SNR area, since we are just from a consolidation, the consolidation might not take long, but it will form some form of consolidation for 1 or 2 days again, so that the bulls can activate themselves and come to hit our take profit. We've been in this market for quite some time now, again looking for gold to buy. So what we are also hoping that it will form higher highs, since it has been in this area for long. If you look at it in a daily chart, you realize this was on March. So after we break after we breach this point, this will be our first take profit again for the daily candles. Of course, in here between, when we look at it in 4 hours and hourly charts, there will be some major differences, some support and resistance areas, but this will be our target area for the first time. And once it breaches this point, again, we'll be looking for high highs. Again, we can never be 100% sure in this market. Any news may come up, any vaccine, anything about COVID-19, anything about the US dollar. So we'll still be watching out before then.
Yeah.
So that is it for gold. So unless you have any question about any other pair, I think that is it for today.
Na before tumalize, sasa like unaona like tukibreaking out of a range, tunaweza tumia like a measured move to measure like au like the pips kenye ilikuwa ndani ya range. Juu umesema like sasa tunaweza kuwa na consolidation kwa gold pia. Like sasa baada sisi ku break out that resistance of the range kwanza, like we retest like the resistance equal the support juu like umesema ikirange for the next 2 days. Alafu pia unaangalia kwa 4 hours pia the candles that are forming actually ni the bulls actually unaangalia ni kazi wana lose like momentum actually na wako kwa market juu pia kulikuwa na engulfment waki break the range. So like waki retest the previous your resistance now equal now the current support, alafu now tukimesha na the pips kenye ilitoka kwa range to take it na to add it up baada ya the resistance like tunaweza pata like pia ni pips mzuri.
What happens is when we talk about supply and demand again, because it's part of price action, what happens, this is a very big topic we need to learn one day. What happens is once the market has taken off, there is more supply than demand in the market, where everyone wants to buy. Every trader, every institution wants to buy. So what happens is there will be no sellers, and those who are holding for the sales then will get an opportunity to sell. So you might find it is a possibility that you might find that this market will come back to the consolidation. That is also a very good possibility.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that this might come back to the consolidation, and once it does, it will take out very many people and then come back again as we're expecting. So it is very unlikely still that we get that it will turn to a bearish market, but again, it might misbehave somewhere so that it takes out people. Remember, this is the biggest fraud that happens in our market, where the hunting of stop losses and such. So
yeah,
that's the only fraud that we are experiencing. That's the biggest fraud. So that is very likely again, because the market movers might decide that this price is very high for them, so they want in back so that they can get the prices at a lower area. So it is very possible, but for now we are not looking, because we are not experiencing that. I think we are still expecting for some sort of retracement a little bit, some sort of range. Since this has been a range, it may not be a very big range. It may be just a very small consolidation, and then we'll take off to the higher side. Again, remember this is one resistance area that we are at. So we will be looking to be very careful that it breaches this point. But if you look at other gold pairs, like the Australian dollar, you see that they already breached the point we are talking about. And since it is the same gold we are talking about, it is very likely that we'll experience the buying up to that point, unless there is some news before then.
Yeah.
So the Australian the gold against the Australian dollar is what will be ranging for quite some time, until the gold and the US dollar gets to the same price, because most of the times they move together. That is how those work. Yeah. So the metals are not that different. It is only the difference is the pairing. But at the end of the day, you can see it breached the higher highs. It created the higher highs than the last time. So it is a very good possibility that we'll be going over that market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other question?
Sina any other question, unless Janet on another question.
Janet, tuko na swali?
Hapana.
All right. So see tuonane kesho.
Usinyamazange sana.
Sawa.
Tuonane kesho. Let us know how the today's trades, kila mtu atuambie vile trades za leo zitaenda. Tuonane kesho basi.
Sawa.
May the peace.